One，
喂，你正在收听你最喜欢播客、最喜欢的播客 Boy。Listeners, come back, please. It's just us. Your friends.
That was really good.
It's just us, your friends. David and Kane, I promise.
你好。
How are you doing, Kane? And can you explain our intro for today?
No, I can't really.
This is the most terrible. Have you seen? Watch this music video.
I think it's that time, we embrace Chinese rap. It's been too under the radar for too long.
Are you
for
sure?
Western audiences.
Are you sure?
For Western audiences, yeah. I'm not saying I'm big on Chinese rap or anything, but back in my day, there was this guy called have you heard this Hong Kong rapper? Like any songs like Learn English or something? Jin by
Jin.
Jin.
Yeah, he was from the BET battles, right?
Yeah. Is he Canadian or?
I think he's American.
He's American, yeah, but he
Yeah.
speaks Canto. And he was like really good. He was like undefeated during those
Yeah,
the
he was
BET
really good.
runs. Like he was really good at rhyming and
I think
improvising. And
Rough
stuff.
Riders signed him. He got signed on.
I mean, he's not a famous rapper by any stretch.
No.
But he was famous in those underground battles, like underground rap battles. Yeah, I think it was called Learn English, which is like a kind of catchy song, but.
That's okay, but this is like really crazy.
Well, this is
really out
much
there.
higher production value for sure, and it was on Crazy Rich Asians, which got a lot of.
So where'd you find this song?
Yeah, Crazy Rich Asians.
Like, what do you mean? You just listened to that soundtrack?
But this song was like on the radio as well and stuff, because it's
Like on
it's
Western
like the hit
radio?
song. Yeah, like Triple J or something.
Oh wow, really?
So I think by doing this intro, we're kind of opening our podcast up.
Yes.
To-
Chinese sponsors, please.
Well, you know how big
come to us.
You know how big the
Yeah.
basketball market is in China. I don't
Absolutely.
think. I think we should tap into that market
Yes.
if we can.
We are happy to have Chinese sponsors, and in fact,
We-
I could even read the sponsor message in Chinese,
Chinese,
but
yeah.
only in Pinyin, please. I can't actually read Chinese, but okay, if you deliver in Pinyin, I can read that, which is the romanized phonetic version of like Mandarin.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a potential roadblock in our global dominance of our podcast. Just
Yeah.
the fact that we spell favorite in
With
the
that-
Australian version
Oh, fuck.
or the British version.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
we're really limiting our audience because if you say to someone, "Hey, our podcast is called
yeah.
your favorite podcast is favorite podcast,"
They're like, why are you spelling this wrong?
Yeah, and you like favorite, and you like try to spell favorite, and you spell
Yeah.
it without the U.
So if I have this right, there's two tweaks we can make to really reach the next level. One, we have to spell favorite with just the O. And secondly, if we somehow tweaked your name so that we spell it as Kanye,
yeah.
then I think we'll be really
David
big
and
hit.
Kanye.
David and Kanye.
We might get a lot. Yeah, that's true.
I think that's definitely one way we can up our game.
Okay.
But listeners, yeah, go and check out this video by Vava, my new swag. Apparently, it's featured on the movie Crazy Rich Asians.
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a great movie.
It's
but-
not a great movie.
I mean, it's important.
It doesn't look like a great movie.
It's a movie that will be like that will test time.
Actually, I
because
have.
of its
I
cultural,
mean,
relevance.
what should we start with? Should we do a sponsor updates?
Oh yes, please.
The latest is that we have no sponsors. After a few weeks of begging now.
Well, we haven't actually done anything.
We
to be
haven't done
proactive.
much. Right. We've just begged, basically.
Maybe not enough.
It's occurring to me that begging is not an effective way to
Please,
get sponsors.
anybody.
Anybody, please.
Just sponsor
seriously,
us.
sponsor us.
Are we expecting like food? Like money seems like a tall order to ask.
In a previous episode, you did mention that maybe we should get loco sponsors. I wasn't sure if you were joking or not. You
I
sounded-
wasn't. Yeah.
You weren't joking.
I wasn't joking.
That's actually more alarming that you're not joking. But no, actually, you know what? Chase your dreams. Do it for us, Kane. Grab us that sponsor. Go grab us some
Yeah, I just
sponsors.
want like the Alexandria Bunnings to sponsor us or something.
Well, Bunny's not going to sponsor us.
Oh,
Yeah. Kane is also a wonderful designer, and maybe we can do something with merchandising. Are there T-shirts that we can design for people, for example? On previous show, we ran through the award for this year.
Yeah.
The champions, Golden State Warriors,
Yeah.
Sixth Man of the Year, MVPs. what if we get ahead of the game and start releasing those merchandises now?
With our logo and stuff?
No,
or just like official Warriors merch kind of thing.
Well, no, we don't want to get you arrested. Maybe not official stuff, but we can certainly. Is it illegal to write 2019 champions, the Golden State
Just
Warriors?
in Comic Sans or something?
No, we want to keep it classy. Come on.
Okay, classy.
Yeah. The avatar font. What's that? Papyrus.
Yeah, Papyrus, yeah.
Yeah, papyrus. Something classy like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for that. But
Yeah, I'm
you know what,
totally for that.
I think we should just make like our own shows merch as well.
Why not? Why not? If that's
Put
what people want to buy.
the cartoon character Michael Beasley.
Yeah,
on shirts
no,
and
for
stuff.
sure. Listeners, if you enjoy our logo, tweet us at EuropeFPFP. But no, seriously, personally, I wouldn't mind a T-shirt of Carmelo Anthony with his Sportsman of the Year award. What's that award called?
Time and Stokes or something.
Yeah, the Time
like
and
that.
Stokes award. Okay, so a couple of teams we want to cover. Let's start off with the Lakers. This past week, there's been some rumblings within Lakerland. Stephen A. Smith was calling for, in fact, the Lakers to trade Ingram, which I thought was quite surprising. What do you think about
You
this?
get a lot of your news from Stephen A, huh?
Oh, Stephen A, he's one of the best.
But you know he's just saying shit to
This-
incite some like controversy.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is my question to you.
Yeah.
To what extent do teams use the media, like a Stephen A. Smith,
Yeah.
to get
broadcast-
their message across to the players?
broadcast it, yeah.
'Cause
Or
part-
to get up to their own players.
To their own players,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
Because prior to this, what have I been telling you? Don't trade Ingram because
Yeah.
all I'm hearing is Ingram. He's the keeper. He's the
Yeah.
keeper. And now they're saying, okay, Stephen A. Smith is like, trade Ingram. Trade Ingram.
Yeah.
What message is that sending to Ingram? Now, the org is not going to tell him that.
No.
Do you think that someone in the Lakers said, Stephen A., let's try
I think
this?
so. I think you're right.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
But just in regards to the possibility of trading Ingram, at this point, I'm all for it. I don't think he fit the team in terms of the structure around LeBron James. They play best with Kuzma as opposed to Ingram. And you think, why isn't they do play both actually? Like why don't you play Ingram at the 2 and then you play Kuzma at the 4 or 3 and then LeBron James plays the 4? I've seen a few games. They just don't mesh really well. Like Ingram is not a natural 2. He's a 3. And if you play we talk a lot about this position in basketball, but too many times Ingram doesn't know where he's going to go in the court. He has to he overthinks too many things. Same as Ball. Ball, naturally is a ball handler. He's the guy that takes the ball up. He's going to pass it off, facilitate offense. Now that he's playing off ball, and you get guys like Ingram and LeBron and even Kuzma to an extent handling it, the ball seems quite lost. So to me, Ingram is a trade candidate, and Ball as well is a trade candidate.
That is quite interesting to hear because coming into this year,
Yeah.
I thought that Ingram was going to be the one that takes the next step to the next
Kuzma
level.
to me looks like
But
he's
Kuzma
the guy.
is the keeper now.
I think so. Kuzma is the guy.
He's the keeper.
Yeah.
So
Imagine this team. Like if you got rid of Ingram and even say Ball comes off the bench. But imagine this team if they traded with the Wizards. They got Beal at the shooting guard spot. Whoever's Rondo at point guard. LeBron, Kuzma, and then McGee. That's a pretty good team. They need shooters around. And the thing is, Ingram isn't a natural, consistent shooter. If you get another consistent shooter like a Bradley Beal, if they could somehow trade for Bradley Beal, that would make the team a lot stronger.
Stephen A. is very angry that people are not listening to him. And I'm listening to Stephen A. Because he knows. And this is what Stephen A. is saying. Stephen A. is saying they should trade any combination of Ingram, Lonzo, and the other player. Trade for Beal this year, and then still sign a free agent next year.
I don't subscribe to it entirely, but this is what you've been saying. You got to strike while the iron's hot.
Those are his exact
Oh, really?
words.
I swear to God, I did not see.
He probably got it from you.
You have to strike while the iron's hot. You can't wait around, especially when you have a 33-year-old LeBron James that is still the best player in the world. Sure, he's on the downward spiral, if you might go as far to say, but he's still the best player in the world.
Yeah, because I think
Kawhi Leonard's the second.
previously they were like, okay, we got to protect our young assets somehow, and maybe that's Ingram. But now, well, Stephen A. saying this,
point.
but how much of that is Stephen A. and how much of that is basically Lakers floating out these ideas through the media, right? They're saying, take our young players away so that we can secure, let's say, a Beal, because Washington is turning to the Washington Generals over there. So they're trying to offload any of their assets. So they trade for those young assets. So now you bring in a bona fide star. And then next year, you're still in free agency, making a big run at Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, maybe Anthony Davis. I'm not sure about Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis still has 2 years in his contract, so he has to be traded.
He has to be traded, so maybe not that. But basically
well,
now,
I think they should.
But now you're positioning yourself to be much more attractive. You've got LeBron and another star.
That's true. I definitely agree, especially. But this kind of goes back to my general sort of thinking about this. Like, you gotta trade what you can, and make sure you're still in this championship window, because Ingram and Ball, they're young kids, and they have a lot of potential. The former second overall picks. Those 2 guys and their potential, to me, is still a way better trade chip and asset than it is to just get a Beal. Like having one Beal, one player like Bradley Beal, he's not like a superstar. He's not even a star to me. He's like very good player.
Uh-oh.
He's a very, very good player.
Disrespect.
He's a fringe all-star player. Like he can make a fringe all-star, but he's not like a lock to make
Wait, is he an
all-star.
all-star?
He's made 1 in his career.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, he's
the best
always
players
been
right
like
now.
good enough, like that he should make it, but he's always just missed out kind of thing.
Right.
So he's a fringe all-star if you want to call him all-star, I'm happy with that. But to me, he's not a bona fide star player.
Okay,
And he's definitely not a superstar, right? He's not he's obviously not a superstar.
He's better than John Wall, and John Wall is
Okay,
talked
well,
about
I don't
as
want
a
to get into this
superstar.
because I don't agree. But my point is,
Oh my God.
having a very good player who's 20, I'm gonna guess 27, 26 at the youngest, having that who's probably his ceiling is capped, but he's a very good shooter. To me, you're sort of limiting your future trade capabilities, because Ball and Ingram to me still has potential to increase the trade value.
Bradley Beal is 25 years old.
Okay, he's a young dude, so maybe I take some of that back.
Interesting. Interesting.
But do you know what I mean? Like, these guys are 20 years old, like Ingram and Ball, like 20, 21 years old.
But there's no guarantee that they become a Bradley Beal. That's
Fine, but Bradley Beal
Beal's
to me
already
is
Bradley Beal.
a very good player at best.
okay. Interesting.
So getting a Bradley Beal and giving up, a 20-year-old former second overall pick, you're kind of giving up any possible, increase in trade capabilities. Because with Beal, now you have a ceiling. Now you've capped it definitely.
That's a pretty good ceiling at like 22 points a game. Yeah, a little bit disrespectful.
But this is a team that is got, that has a chance. But do you want to do it for Beal? Yeah, he's a good player. I think this is just devil's advocate. I probably would go for Beal too. But purely out of devil's advocate, I think you have to look at the players you're trading in Ball and Ingram and say these guys are still young and they still have a lot of room to grow. To me.
True. Okay, so the other interesting thing is, according to Stephen A. and other reports, is that Magic Johnson has asked Luke to add more experience to his coaching staff. And the names that are coming up, interesting for you, Kane, is Jason Kidd as one of them. Jason Kidd, Mark Jackson, or Ty Lue? What do you think of Jason Kidd joining the staff?
I think just from stories I've heard, he's very arrogant and stubborn, and he wants his own way. And even he left the Nets to join the Bucks because he wanted more control of the team.
Was he? Oh yeah, I forgot he was a Nets. He was a
yeah,
coach
he was the Nets head coach, and he's a good head coach. Like, don't get me wrong, but he's a guy that just wants total control. Like, this was a guy when he was playing point guard. He was a coach on the court. So I think it will be hard to mesh assistant head coach in Jason Kidd to like Luke Walton or whatever, because Jason Kidd would just overpower Luke Walton. That's why I would imagine.
Okay.
Mark Jackson is a good name, although I don't think Mark Jackson really wants to be an assistant head coach as well.
No, and Mark Jackson.
Like, he's way too good to be an assistant head coach.
Well, according to some. Mark Jackson got himself blacklisted basically as a head coach.
Yeah.
So that's why he's not getting head coaching opportunities.
He has to be. Like,
I don't know what the actual story is. I mean, I've tried to dig into it, but there's nothing really specific. But
to me, Steve Kerr is an excellent coach. Like, don't get me wrong, but if Mark Jackson was still coach, we would be considering Mark Jackson the greatest coach of all time. Maybe they won't make 73. Maybe they wouldn't have won 73 without Steve Kerr. But this team is still making final appearances every year with Mark Jackson. No, you put a lot of.
Okay, what we've established here, there's a couple of things. First, like a spurned lover, Kane is very low on Jason Kidd because he abandoned his beloved.
I didn't say. I think he's a good. I think he's a good head coach. That's what I said. I'm telling the truth. He's hard to work with.
And the other thing is, I'm actually quite surprised to hear you say is that I feel like you don't give that much props to the head coaches.
Yeah.
On our last show, you were questioning Kyle Liu.
Yeah.
You're questioning.
You're the opposite. You seem to give way too much props.
Well, I mean, ultimately, it's the players, right? The players are out there to win.
Yeah.
It's a talent for sure. The problem with Mark Jackson was while he was on the Warriors, that was a divided locker room. You had half the people who were very supportive of Mark Jackson, and the other half who didn't feel so strongly about him. So what does that tell you?
Yeah, I mean,
if you were a great coach and leader, you got to bring people together, right? You can't have a divided locker room.
No, that's true, and that's why I'm not saying that Steve Kerr is like creditless. Like, he deserves a lot of credit for what he has done, and it's an amazing run that they're having, like four straight final appearances, and also the fifth, and the winning a championship this season, as we've already concluded. But I just can't imagine that any other coach would. Yeah, okay. No, I see what you're saying. But this team is so talented. Like, come on. Like,
the correct answer is Ty Lue. Ty Lue needs to be on. I
was going to say.
That
was what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the LeBron whisperer. Although I think the thing that would be really odd and weird is the fact that if he joins as even associate head coach, he's the one with the championship ring, right?
Yeah.
And he's still serving under Luke Walton.
Luke Walton's won a championship.
What, did he?
Didn't he win as assistant head coach when he was with the Warriors?
Maybe he did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Oh, right, he did.
Yeah.
No, wait, did he?
You don't think?
No, let's check that.
Okay.
Because he was part of the when they lost to the Cavs that year.
Yes, but he was been for more than, and he's won a championship with the Lakers.
Oh, as a
player,
he was playing, as a player. Jason Kidd, not my favorite person, also a wife beater.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And then he drove his car into a tree, drunk.
But Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, undeniable Hall of Famer, super tough defender.
We touched on this last episode in terms of off the field and on court sort of things. So you're talking about how the Wizards are going to be. You've nicknamed them the Washington Generals.
Yes.
A
little bit disrespectful.
The Wizards are falling apart. They're struggling right now. The record as of right now is 2-8. Are they still 2-8? Sorry.
No, they lost today.
Oh, they lost today. So the Washington Wizards are right now 2-9 to the Magic.
Yeah.
Recently,
they're falling apart.
They're 2-9, possibly more. So I mean, we know your thoughts on the team, right? You don't rate them. How much chance do you give them making the playoffs still?
I don't care if they make the playoffs. They might make the playoffs.
Okay, so let's put it this way. Do you know Wall's contract is going to go from $19 million to $38 million next year when he's 29 years old?
That is depressing.
When he's 32 years old, he's getting paid over $44 million.
Okay, first of all, what do you think of Wall's conditioning? He looks a bit bloated to me.
Have you seen those
Team
those,
USA
photos?
Memes?
Yeah, I mean, those ones are bad. But even recently, people are questioning his work ethic and stuff. Work ethic? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing some reports of him out clubbing around DC as well.
He just seems like a dude that needs to do a lot of conditioning and a lot of cardio to look like that kind of svelte, lean sort of player. But he doesn't need it. He's a bit bulky, but he's fast. He's naturally a fast dude.
But he's getting a bit slower.
He's getting a bit slower and a bit more injured and a bit more fragile, I suppose.
It's a bit fragile, and age is not on his side anymore.
No, but he's getting paid a lot of money. He's going to
Which is the issue. Now it's after he's gotten paid all this money, he comes in training camp out of shape, basically. losing a step. He's still quick, but like we talked about Derrick Rose, speed is a key component of his game.
Yeah, definitely.
He can't shoot.
No, he can't shoot.
Who would want to pay Wall $38 million next year and $40 million in a couple of years when he's like 300 pounds? I was going to ask, does Wall have a future as a 6'4" power forward?
Maybe. That's maybe the new wave of power forwards.
Sorry. So disrespectful. Please, John Wall, ease up on the Shirley champagne.
Okay, well,
Well, actually, let's workshop this, though. Like, who... Is he tradable? Like, people are talking as if he's not tradable. I'm assuming you can only trade him to a team with the cap space who can't really attract anyone else and would benefit from a star name, basically.
Like, to me, like, they don't have the cap space, but, like, Milwaukee would be, like, a really good team for Wall, just because of, like, the sort of setup that he'll be in. Like, Bledsoe is a similar type of player to Wall. Right. Like, who's quick and stout and sturdy, kind of, not sturdy, as in, like, a bit solid, can kind of, like, bulldoze in a paint kind of thing like that. Wall is good at driving in to the, getting buckets inside, close.
I was reading somewhere that the combination of Wall, Beal, and was it Otto Porter Jr.? Yeah. They're going to account for something like 85. Those three players are going to account for 85% of the payroll
next year. They still have to pay Ian Mahinmi. You know that player? Mahimi?
Yeah.
He's on hook for $60 million for him. Apart from that, though, they owe John Wall $38 million, Otto Porter $27 million, and Beal also $27 million.
So what's in my mind, yes, they need to blow.
So they can't get anyone else. They can't get any other stars on this roster.
No,
because
they have the stars.
To me, yeah. I mean, John Wall's. I know you're joking around, but John Wall's a star player.
John Wall was a star player.
Okay, fine. Maybe he's not a star player anymore, but I think I'm happy to give him the benefit of the doubt. If he's in a good situation with a good coach, I'm happy to call him a star player.
So, what do you think the Wizards should do? They should break it up?
Okay, well, initially when we kind of were, thinking about this run sheet, I was kind of on the fence of blowing up this team because they do have quality players that, especially in the Eastern Conference, you can battle and you can probably make the playoffs with this setup. But the more I think about it is, why do you want to be the fifth or at best the fourth best team in the Eastern Conference? I don't think you want to. Maybe your fans want it because they want like a serviceable product to watch, and they don't. And maybe the Wizards brass, they don't want to be a bad team where they're gonna like suffer ticket sales for a couple years. Like the Sixers, when the Sixers were tanking and going through their rebuild, they had dismal attendance, attendance numbers.
I do think blowing it up is risky because I think too often it doesn't really work out. And actually, I don't think, is it actually working out in Philadelphia?
So, this is, I was thinking like, tanking, right? Like when you blow up a team, you're obviously going through this rebuild and it's a long season, but you want to tank. Do you want to actually explain what tanking is to some of our less knowledgeable NBA fans?
Tanking is basically the process where the team are
intentionally losing.
Actually, not intentionally. That probably is illegal. But what they do is they play their young players. They rest their veterans. They let their bench play basically, and as a result, they lose games.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the year, there's a lottery draft. And the teams with the worst record,
worse your record, the higher odds you have to get a higher pick to select a better player.
Yeah, and one of the quickest ways to become a good team is through the draft and picking those top picks.
Top players, yeah. And we know in NBA there's only really maybe 5 good young players that come out from the draft each draft. So usually they're the first 5 players off the board, really.
Exactly. And in recent years, Philadelphia has done something that was quite innovative or unique in the sense that they were just blatantly tanking. Where year after year, they were just aiming to be the worst team, basically. And I think within a span of 5 years, they amassed something like 21 draft picks.
I think they amassed like the record number of lottery picks.
Do we still have Ben Simmons in Philadelphia, or is this Bendo now? So do you know that Ben Simmons is dating Kendall
Still?
Jenner?
I think they broke up.
We need to check this.
Dating Kendall Jenner?
Kendall.
Kendall?
Kendall.
Yeah.
K-E-N-D.
Kendall Jenner's ex heartbroken after she reunites with Ben Simmons.
Oh.
That was 1 day ago. 5 hours ago. Ben Simmons' girlfriend, who is 6 to start dating. He spent the bulk of his off-season in Los Angeles, partially due to his relationship with model Kendall Jenner.
Okay, it's over. It's over.
Although the two attempted to keep things low-key, it didn't take long for the media to jump over the relationship. Okay, I think you're right.
It's over. Let's just play the funeral music.
Yeah. Simmons and Jenner were off, then back on.
Cue the music.
I think it's like an on-off relationship or something. I mean, come on, like the two
No,
very
it's over.
attractive
You know it's
young
over.
people.
Okay, if you're Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons
I mean,
isn't like, exclusive with just one person, I think. Like,
Okay, well, this is concern. This is concern for me. I mean, why is he even dating? This is the thing I don't understand. Okay,
Oh, she's hot.
on one hand, you talk about within the NBA, they talk about how this is a brotherhood, and if anything, it's a small company of what 300 players, 300, 400 players, maybe.
yeah,
And you
fine.
have someone like Kendall Jenner who has a history with a string of NBA players. Do you feel that is a bit strange?
Does she? She's pretty young. I don't think she's not the. It's the Kardashians in general that date NBA players, but I don't think Kendall Jenner dates NBA players a lot. She's only like, I think she's a kid. Like I think she's 21.
She's a kid, and she's dated Chandler Parsons.
Oh really? Yeah.
She's dated Jordan Clarkson.
Oh really? Oh.
Okay.
He's like half Asian or something, quarter Asian.
Oh, really?
What's that country? Like fuck. No, he's from
Philippines?
Yeah, Philippines.
Okay, cool.
He's like
I
quarter
didn't know that.
Filipino.
Yeah. I can't believe you don't know Kendall Jenner's dating life. I follow this very closely.
Okay.
She was dating Blake Griffin last year.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that. I knew
Would
that.
you want to date the girl that was just dating Blake Griffin? Okay? Like,
Well, Blake
no
Griffin to me
disrespect.
doesn't seem like someone that can hold an interesting conversation.
Blake Griffin thinks he's like a stand-up comedian. You
Yeah,
know that,
exactly.
right?
Yeah. Well, Ben Simmons to me seems a lot more interesting.
If you were an employee of a company or an organization, a very tight organization of 300 people, 350 people,
Yeah.
and a young lady comes to this organization and start dating literally 2 or 3 of your colleagues and your brothers, would you want to get involved, or would you go, hey, wait a minute, let me evaluate this situation?
Me personally, yeah, I agree with you, but some men don't think that way.
Okay.
Like some men just want to date the hot girl and they don't care about their previous experience because I know they're young, but anytime you date someone that's dated before, they're going to have baggage.
I know that Ben Simmons is a star, but let there be no doubt, if he dates Kendall Jenner, it's going to be Bendo. He is going to lose his name. And as much as he wants to isolate himself from the drama and the media, it's not going to happen. It's just not.
So just to give some credence to what you're saying, say Chandler Parsons, who's lost now, like he's in like NBA purgatory. She's dated Blake Griffin, who then promptly got traded to Detroit
Got traded,
Pistons.
and he was doing super badly during that period.
I dated Jordan Clarkson, that was like sent to basketball hell in Cleveland, and now dating probably the best of the bunch in Ben Simmons.
Exactly.
A rising star. Maybe she's learned not to date NBA scrubs and realize that she needs to date like up and comers. I think I'm happy for him to do actually anything as long as it's not criminal. He can do anything he wants.
Oh God!
As long as it's not
Kane's
criminal.
standard there.
But he still, as long as he's hitting the gym and doing his sprints and playing well in basketball, it's all good.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What do you think of the Rockets? Are you concerned?
I mean, this is a stacked Western Conference, so I won't be too surprised. I'll be really surprised if they don't make the playoffs at all. They will make the playoffs, right? You agree they make the playoffs?
Yes, but our expectation is that they win. They beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
Carmelo in his last game shot 1 for 11.
Yeah, that's not good. But I think the team's too good. They'll end up as a top 4 seed. They're too talented, and if they're a bit out, I'll be surprised if they miss the playoffs entirely. I'll be really surprised and jobs will be lost. And then we'll start to question, like, and when we look back at history, and we look back at this time and look at, Russell Westbrook, and now that, the Thunder are struggling, with Russell Westbrook and Paul George, and we look at James Harden, and the season after he wins MVP, his team misses the playoffs. Then we're like, why are we giving these MVP seasons, why do these guys deserve MVPs over LeBron James, who had comparable stats, and year after year goes to the finals? Like, LeBron James has missed a lot of years because of voter fatigue, basically. Like, he's putting these stats year after year, and they're saying, oh, who's the new flavor of the year? Oh, it's James Harden. Oh, a year later, James Harden misses the playoffs. Oh, okay. Oh, whoops. Well, that year he was really good. Who cares? Derrick Rose, that 1 year he was good. Well, we said this last episode. He only had 25 points and 7 assists, and LeBron James does it every single season.
Eventually,
and for one season, Derrick Rose wins
Eventually, we're going to have to come to this conversation of who is the greatest ever, and of course, the answer is LeBron James. But looking at the running sheet, why do you have Plumlee rules? What are you suggesting?
I think that was like a Billy Madison reference.
No.
Like O'Doy rules. Plumlee to me is like that family, because
Okay.
in O'Doyle,
No.
they're all. Have you seen Billy Madison?
I think I have, but I don't remember.
Like the basic story of Billy Madison is Adam Sandler. He's like a rich kid, but he's really dumb, and he wants to run the family business. But in order to run the family business, he has to finish K-12. Like, that's the deal that he's made with his dad. And each year he goes, he's accelerating it. He's accelerating through because from K to 6 is really easy. But O'Doyle, who's the bad guy, just within different grades there's always an O'Doyle. In kindergarten it's a kid O'Doyle, and he pushes a grown up Adam Sandler. He's like, O'Doyle rules. And then when he gets to high school, there's a high school version of O'Doyle, different O'Doyles, but every time they're always O'Doyle rules. So I'm thinking Plumlee, because there's lots of brothers of Plumlees. So
how many Plumlees can we combine to equal the greatness of LeBron?
I'll put it this way: if LeBron James's talent was in Mason Plumlee's body, he might be a better player.
But that's not fair, because you're just putting him in a bigger frame, a bigger body.
Yeah.
But can we take peak LeBron, and then we take let's start with Mason, because
Mason's the most talented.
He's the most talented, and then we give him 2 additional arms from Miles. So now we have Mason's body and 4 arms.
Okay. Well, Mason's has
Would you take
arms.
that over LeBron? Would that be more powerful than LeBron?
So Mason's body with Miles's arms?
No. So it's be Mason Plumlee, and then we give